me just kind of frame it. Wow, it's a big sign.
Yeah, you might not be able to.
Yeah, but we'll get it. Okay. And then may I ask you to put the drink down just because I don't want that to show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll probably feel more comfortable. Okay, great. All right. So,
Let me put this down too.
perfect. Susan, so what is important to you about being the co-chair of Simply Devine?
Well, I'm the co-chair of Simply Devine, and I'm on the board of the Los Angeles LGBT Center. And the reason I love to be the co-chair of Simply Devine is because it's really our only food and wine event that we do for the center. And it's affordable, which is really fantastic. I think tickets right now are $150. And it's a way in which we can get the community, young and old, to come together for an event that's just about eating great food and drinking wine and margaritas. And it, I think, helps people who don't know much about the center really begin to learn about a little bit about the center without having to sit through speeches, but it helps people become connected to the center. So it's just a fun, crazy event. And this year we're doing it at Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which is going to be very cool and very iconic.
Why did you start to become involved with the center just in general, why are you involved with the LGBT Center?
So I've been on the board of the LGBT Center for about 12 years now. And even before that, I participated in events and went to Women's Night and the gala. But I think at some point in my life, I tried to think about what was important to me and where I wanted to give back in a bigger way. I mean, in the restaurant business, you give back in many different ways and you do tons of nonprofit events. But this was something that I felt was very important and very dear to my heart. And so I felt like what I wanted to try to do is put more of my efforts towards something that had a ton of meaning and connection for me to help with equality around this whole country and around the world, to be able to have the LGBT community feel like they are equal to everybody else out there.
You've talked a little bit throughout the interview about giving back, and it's important to you, being a mentor. What are some of the things throughout your career how have you been involved in philanthropy during your career?
You know, throughout my whole career, we have always been very big on giving back. Whether Mary Sue and I were committed to the Kidney Foundation, Planned Parenthood, the LGBT community, American Cancer Society, Alex's Lemonade, and I think that, you know, there's many reasons. For me, I grew up in a family that gave back, and the importance of that was something that I learned as a kid and with my parents. And so for me, the more that I can do that and help the people that work for us also learn about giving back, I think is really a big part of what I love. And it makes my whole job, my work, my career feel more well-rounded. It's about making money, clearly, and running a business, but it's also about giving back to the community, because without the community, we're nothing.
Final question. I really enjoyed your insight into what you said a few minutes ago about having a voice, or having a successful business can give you a voice or a tool, or it's an engine for change that you might not have as an individual. So can you kind of rephrase that a little bit and talk to us a little bit about how do you see businesses, just extrapolate on that. How can you kind of like help me out here and just like maybe recap what you were saying there about how do you see business being important with social change?
You know, I feel very fortunate to be a business owner and someone who's had some success in my career, to be able to be a voice in a way that as an individual, if I didn't have the restaurant business, I don't feel that I would be able to affect change as easily. I see many people who want to be able to give back, but it's about writing a check. For me, we have this crazy opportunity, and I feel like a responsibility to use that voice, whether it's with the media or doing fundraising events, to be able to give back and talk about issues that are important, and obviously important to me and to my business partner, Mary Sue, but it gives you way more visibility and potential to raise more awareness and more money than I think either one of us could as an individual.
Actually, now, last question, going back to Simply Devine. Let's get a little bit of nitty gritty in case the editor does want to use this. Tell us when Simply Devine occurs. Again, talk about ticket prices and when and where and all the information.
So I'm very excited to have Simply Devine happening March 24th. We're moving it this year to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which is going to be so cool and so iconic. It's a great event. There's about 1,000 plus people. It's a pretty inexpensive event. It's $150. There's 35 of my friends, peer restaurateurs, probably 35 wineries. So you can have and there's a great DJ and a live band. It's just a really fun Saturday night where your money goes back to the community. And in these times, I think it's such an important event. So it's coming up in a couple of weeks, March 24th. It's Hollywood Forever Cemetery, and it's just a great, fun event and a way to give back. And you're going to spend $150 going out to dinner with friends, so you got to come.
You are